Hello everyone, it's Jean from the Inky Studio, and welcome to part 3 in a series of putting together a Christmas folio using large envelopes. And today we're going to be doing the last part. We did this side of the folio. Now today we're going to be working with this side. So what I'll be doing in this video is I'm using the kit, My Porch Prints, and I've been doing that throughout this series, but you don't have to use it. I'm going to give you alternatives to use as well, and I'm going to give you the measurements so that you can use your own scrapbook paper or digital kit, whatever you would like to use. So for this page here, I am going to use page 4 of the Christmas Traditions kit. And it's just making a base. Now we did the same thing to make a base for all the other places, and so you'll want to cut a piece of paper that is 5 1/4 by 8 1/2, or if you have border on your printer, you're only going to get 8 1/4 this way. But we will make up that difference. I'll show you how to do that. But if you don't have any borders and you just have a plain sheet, a regular 8 1/2 by 11 sheet, you're going to be just fine by using half of it there on your backing. Then out of this paper here that we use to make one of our flaps, I'm going to use that paper to also put a border up here for our lack of that 1/4 of an inch there. So I'll be taking a little scrap out of that. And then I am using this of the pages. I think my sticker fell out. It is it's in the pages, so it's this one here. And what I did was I cut out the image from there, just like so. And this is what I'm going, page 7. Here we go, it's on the back. It's page 7 of the pages of the Traditions kit. And I'm going to use this as the pocket. So this little pocket will go onto here like so. Now, if you not using the kit, then I would suggest that you use 1 or 2 pieces, and it depends how you want that look to be. But I would cut a piece that is around 5 1/4, which is the width of your base there, and about 4 inches high. A piece that is this square. And then I would cut a slant in it. Now when I cut a slant, I would recommend not going to the very, very corner, but just leaving a little bit of a piece of the top there. And I like to do this because I have found that when I cut right up to that corner, it sometimes doesn't, if you use the pocket, it begins to kind of peel away. And this just gives the pocket a little bit more to hang onto with the glue. So that is what I personally prefer to do, but you don't have to do that. So I have one that is going this way. Now I'm going to make this one go in the opposite way. So I'm going to leave a little bit up there, and I'm going to come up here about 1 1/4 inches. And it's really up to you how high you want to go. I'm just making sure that's what I did. Yep, 1 1/4 inches. It's up to you. You can make it a little higher. You can go up to 1 1/2 inches, 1 3/4 inches, something like that. But I'm going up to 1 1/4 inches, putting a tick mark on that side, and then coming over here and just leaving a little bit of that top, and then I'm going to draw the line. And then I'll be cutting across that line. And in this way, I've created 2 slant pockets. And you may prefer this anyways, you know. And so one can go this way, and the other one then you can place that where you can place it a little higher. You can place them at the same length, same length down here. It just depends what you like it to look like. But anyways, you could place these two down here on the bottom, and then you've got these two pockets. And you can raise up that base a little bit, and then you can, of course, make this come down 1/4 of an inch past the base here to make up for the fact you don't have 8.5 inches. You've only got 8.25. But you know, and also if that border doesn't bother you, if it doesn't bother you to have this wider border around here, you don't have to do anything like that. So that is really your choice. So I'm going to take a piece of, actually I can take the bottom of this. Yeah, I can. So I'm going to take a piece of that same paper we used to cut this over here, because you've got some left over on that scrap. And I am going to place it up there. I'm going to use some decorative scissors to cut around the bottom. So let me get this glued. And I'm going to glue it on my base before I glue it into the actual folio. So it's going to be something like that. And then I'm going to glue right here along this base up. And I'm going to put this down to where I have about 1/4 of an inch, up there. There we go. Just so that I can get my borders in here correct. Okay. But before I do that, I thought it would be kind of fun to add a charm onto the jar, because the jar already has like a digital charm on it. But I just thought, you know, adding another one would be kind of fun and give it a little bit of dimension. So I have put this little charm on a piece of hemp cord, or string. It could be, you know, anything of that nature. And I'm going to wrap it around here in the back. Okay, I like the way that looks. I think that'll just add a little bit of interest to it. Now I'm ready to put the pocket in. So we'll just glue around here on the side. Oops, on this side here. All the way to the bottom. And we'll just put that in there like that. Okay. And now we're going to glue it into here, but we want a pocket here on this side. So we're just going to glue those 3 sides. This one up here and down the side and across the bottom. All right. And so now we have our pocket over here. Plus we have our pocket in here. So that is that side completed there. So I really have enjoyed the idea of cutting out from the pages different images to use throughout the folio. It's kind of a fun technique to think about when you are planning your folio. You know, how can you use these images separately rather than always on the page? All right, so that one is done. Now we're going to go to the very back, and then we'll have the front. So the back of the journal is a wide piece because the middle envelope is the widest one. And I am using for this one page 10 of her page printouts. But I really love this image and I really wanted to use it. But I did see that to cut it as wide as I wanted to was going to involve another image here on the side. So I'm just going to embrace the wider border all the way around. And I figure it's the back anyways. It should be just fine. So we have page 3, which is left over from cutting out our jar that we just used. The opposing page to that had this really cute little pine cone image. So I'm putting that at the bottom to be a pocket. And to cut around it, this is page 3. Maybe that, oh no, this is from, I'm sorry, the candles were over here. When we did this flap here, that's what was on this side. Well, anyways, it's in your scraps. So we're going to use this and we're going to cut around it. Now, you might want to think, if you're not using this kit, you definitely can just use a rectangle down here. But again, like I just mentioned, you might want to go through your kit that you are using, looking for some designs, that just elements that you can zero in on and use for down here, just something eye-catching or whatever. But this is what I'm going to do. And so I am going to cut, I'm leaving like a little bit of white. Now I did try to kind of meet across here. Whoops, and then I'm coming straight down. All right, so this is sort of the little pocket thing that I've come up with, which is cute, and then we can just slip a little something down inside here. You could also put this up on top. It would look good, I think, either way, on the bottom or on the top. But I'm going to use it down here. All right. Now for the top portion of it up here. Now you don't have to add this top portion, but there, the other side of the jar we just used, there is this cute little motif. So I'm going to cut this out and I'm going to put this on top for a little pocket to put up on top. So let me get that cut out. All right, I cut this little design out here for the top. I'm going to go ahead and put in the bottom pocket. Now what I went ahead and did for this bottom is I glued it to some cardstock so that it's a little bit firmer, and I think that'll help it a little bit. And then I'm just going to glue it right down here at the bottom, the very bottom of this panel. And so now we have a little pocket there. And then this here I'm going to glue as another pocket, but of course I'm going to add that 1/4 of an inch up here on top. This is up here on top, and it'll be sitting inside the back like so. But before I put the back on, I got to figure out what I'm going to do for my ties. And so what I have chosen here is some gross grain ribbon, and I need to put this in there. I will use fabric tack to secure it. Okay, once that's glued in place, I'm going to put on even some more, to secure it even more. I'm putting in a piece of scrap paper, and I don't want to go too far past the edge so you won't see it in the border. I'm just going to place this down like so. So anyways, we will glue this in. I think initially I was going to put a pocket here, but I think I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to just glue the whole back side onto the envelope as it is. Alrighty. So now we have the back side finished. And we have our two pockets. We have the one up here and the one down here. Okay. I can see where maybe I need a little extra glue right here. There. Okay. Now we'll work on the front. And the front is going to need a tie as well. All right, so we'll put it in here to match that tie back there. Now this is going to have a pocket, so this really does need to have something that goes as close as I can without it showing. Something that just goes on there to help the ephemera to slide in and out. Okay, so once that's secure, so for the front of it, I chose page 7, I believe, in her papers, this one here, and I made my base by laying it down this way instead of this way because of the border. So that's how I got that much to be covered. And I made it pretty skinny. I went with 5 inches by 8 3/4. You might want to vary that a little bit, because as you know, each person who makes this with the scoring and the gluing and everything, it could vary 1/8 of an inch either way, or especially width-wise. So you may want to make sure you can size that up first before you cut your paper. So there is the base of it. Now we are going to, like I say, have a pocket here on this side, so we can't forget that. And on page, let's see, on page 8 of the pages, she has this page that has, well, here's a really printout I put on draft. But on one page, one side it's this, and the other side it is these two designs. So I cut these out separately, and these are going to be here on the front, like so. So I'm taking my twine, because I'm using twine throughout this folio. So I'm just going to take a piece of twine, and this I'm going to glue it here on the back before I glue the design down, just to give it a little dimension. All right, just like that. And that's going to basically be the front. So let me get this guy down in here first. And here is my little thing there. Okay, let me cut off the end, and let me just stick a little bit of paper down there to keep those strings where I want them to be. Okay, let's just do that there. Okay. Now we're just ready to go ahead and put this whole thing into our journal. And we're doing a pocket on this side. So I want to be careful not to glue that side up, of course. Alrighty. Okay, that concludes part 3 of our folio. So we have basically finished the working parts of our folio. And next time we get together, we're going to be putting in the journal and filling up the pockets with ephemera and making those things as well, and getting it absolutely completed then. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found some helpful ideas and tips to put your own together. And I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.